Welcome folks, and welcome to another Let's Play, another weekly one. Today, we'll be starting off this new game, Chaos Gate Demon Hunters. Now, this one has all DLCs, because this is the Executioner Force bundle, so we'll have all the DLCs and all the fun. Now, my buddy Oathmaster has played this, and he said it was a good game, so I figured I'd have a go. Now, a disclaimer. This is similar to XCOM, so if you're not a fan of like XCOM style gameplay, this might not be for you. But if you are interested in beating up some chaos scum and also have some fun while doing it with some funky gear, then you're in the right place. Anyhow, let's dive in, shall we? Now, I have had a few goes of it to see how it goes and do test runs with my recorders and all that. So I will drop the tutorial because I already know what I'm doing. Now, Merciful is easy mode. Now, well actually, Merciful's actually normal, technically, because this is XCOM style. Now, there is nothing wrong with that. Go Merciful first. Don't think differently of you because Merciful can give you a bit of a helping hand because the game is absolutely like nasty. It is. It's a very nasty game. Standard is hard mode, essentially. Ruthless is, well, nasty. And this one is just downright, are you ready to, die? So, disable manual saves. The campaign will be limited to single save. Hell no. We're not going to do Grandmaster mode because that is just downright, awful. These are the DLCs we have, so we're gonna have a lot of fun. I'll also explain about the factions and what goes on in this crazy world. Anyhow, let's get on with it, shall we? Yep. Oh yeah, before I forget, if you're photosensitive sensitive, this game will be a bit of a problem for you, so be warned. En route to Titan.
Baleful edict. In the name of the God Emperor.
Dominus, who is this interloper?
Code scrapings indicate an inquisitorial transmission.
Baleful edict. Prepare for my arrival.
Duty calls, Commander. We should open a Vox link.
Inquisition.
Inquisitorial vessel. Permission granted to come aboard.
Great. The Inquisition. Now, if you play the tutorial, you will got a bonus mission, like how they use the game. But since I already know it, we'll just get straight to the business at hand. And already we got a problem. Inquisitions. Ugh, hate these guys. But we have to deal with them. Also guys, the reason I cut out the tutorial because this would have made this video insanely long. I'd rather keep it short, if you know what I mean. There's our Inquisitor.
Thank the God Emperor I found you. I must commandeer this vessel at once.
Impossible. We are bound for Titan. The edict cries out for repair.
The tech priest speaks the truth, Inquisitor. Our last crusade bled us dry.
I'm not blind, Knight. But heresy does not operate at our convenience. My destination is Koromar Prime, within this very system. Not such a taxing journey, I'd expect.
And what is it that you hope to find there?
This.
Beneath rotting skies, the air thickens with a world's final breath. Seeds planted in flesh and bone, watered with blood and tears. A warrior alone in the garden of a grinning god.
These are scraps of astropathic whimsy.
There's more.
It grows. It spreads. A great dispersal upon the etheric wind. The bloom proliferating. First, then Koromar, then world after world. Its roots spread from an ancient veil. Inquisitor, hear me! Hear me! Hear me! Who tends the garden?
The astropath sacrificed himself to send that message.
Now you understand why we must investigate.
Commander, we cannot risk further damage to this vessel.
It is the chapter ship, Dominus. The Inquisitor has every right to request our support.
It is not a request.
Commander, with your leave, we will set our course for this Koromar Prime.
Yes. Good. That will do for now.
Typical Inquisitors. There's a lot that needs to be talked about here, but we'll get them as we go, but there's a lot to discuss. And here we are at Koromar Prime. Ill Omen. That's never good. 15 servitors. So we can't do anything yet until we've done this mission, unfortunately. So this is kind of like still the training part, but it's just we've cut out most of the BS.
Report. Signals from quarantine beacons detected in the upper atmosphere, but the surface itself is silent.
Plague, Commander. Send your squad to the surface.
Knights of Titan, you are the instrument of the Emperor's will. Make planetfall and discover if the Inquisitor's fears are founded.
Oh, that's what we're here for. So here are the different units we have. We have an Apothecary, Purgator, Interceptor, and a Justicar. Now, so let's show off the Knights. So as you can see, we can... Breath available. So basically, guys, we can get more by doing an upgrade, which we can't do yet. And also, we can acquire newer units, but we'll get to them later.
Iolanthus.
Right, so what we're going to do with you... Could you really use a guy who could become like a tank? Because that could be handy. That's it. Okay. So, loadout. We have Terminator armor. Now, these are upgrades we can get. Now, I don't know how you do this, but I'm assuming we'll have to learn to get them. But yeah. So I'm gonna need a big bulky bugger to become my main attacker. Weapons. So we have the option of a sword, halberd, thunderhammer, warstaff. I'm gonna go with I think I'm gonna go with like a halberd. Now we can get unique weaponry as well as we progress, but that'll be a while. So basically, just the cars are your tanks. Your purgators are your ranged fighters. Now these guys are interesting. The interceptors, they can warp around the battlefield and clock people for fun. I think we best give you this. Because I think, whack it someone with with a hammer in the face is usually fun. Now, we do have a Crozium, which is for chaplains, which we do not have yet. This one's restricted for apothecarians, like this gentleman. Let's see what we got here. Weapon chance crit. We'll go with this one. Alright. Stone borders. Now, keep in mind, these weapons will get better if we can unlock them, but that's a later date. Because trust me guys, getting the better weapons is always the best way. Now, you can have an incinerator or a silencer. There's a bit of a difference. I mean, one's like a like a Gatling cannon. So does 4 damage. What does the other one do? The side cannon does 5. So it's a little better, but lower ammo. Go with this. Now, like I said, there will be more better weapons, but we can't get them yet. I'll explain that later. But that's the team ready. Let's dive in, shall we? Oops. And like I said, I will explain, you know, the factions and who they are. But first things first, let's get down on the ground, then we'll start the talk. There are more classes to be had, but we'll have to get them as we go.
Commander, have your men look for signs of this plague.
Be vigilant, brothers.
So, plague. That sounds like a Nurgle problem. What the hell is that? That is a huge skeleton. What in... Is that a Tyranid? Oh, that's not very nice. Right. First off, you'll be wondering, who are the Grey Knights? Well, actually, before we get to that point, let's show the abilities. We have shoot, obvious. Overwatch is basically point the gun, everyone gets to a certain arc, they fire. Now the Aegis Shield is important. The Aegis Shield gives me like extra armor for a turn. And we have 1 frag grenade. Now here we have the health. Willpower. Now willpower gives me abilities. However, and this is a big however. If it is spent, I can't get it back unless I physically kill someone. So I have to physically kill them to get it back. AP is action points. Each of the units have a certain amount of actions they can do. So there are limits to what I can do. And that's no ammo required because it's a sword. Now being a Terminator is a bit, you know, clunky.
Yes, Commander.
Now, I recommend doing this. Try and keep your guys close together as possible. Because
We strive.
Because in an XCOM way, guys,
At your service.
if you see an enemy early,
Something near.
speak of the devil, there is a chance that you could end up like
My blade is yours.
activating it, and they could be too far away to help.
Here. We strive.
Now, like XCOM, you have cover, but be wary. These buggers
My blade is ever ready.
have you know, abilities. Now I could move forward, but I'm not going to because I don't want to start things off. Like I said, this video is going to be all about like how this game works.
Moving out. Fuel. Comms off. Ready for battle.
So there's the other one.
The Emperor lights our path. Standing ready. At once.
Right. Like I said, the best thing to do with this game is take it slow. Now, this here is the warp search track. as the turns progress, or if I use any form of willpower, that will go up. Once it reaches 100, something bad's gonna happen. So keep that in mind.
I am here to serve. Moving now.
So I still got 2.
Unleash me.
Like I said, there they are.
Powers
Ah.
protect us.
Coaties. Now, that's Overwatch, guys.
Will suffer the ultimate punishment.
That's Overwatch. You can view them, but we're not... Oh, the game's going to force me. Alright, fair enough. This will tell us the mutations they've got and what their abilities are. So this is a Nurgle Heavy Stubber. Now, Heavy Stubber, basically, guys, is the human equivalent of a...
Unleash me. Storm.
Of a, Can I get it? Yep. Right. Now, you may be wondering, why am I throwing a grenade there? Well, there's a reason. That. You see, that...
No, don't give up now.
Your orders.
Go to there.
Onward, brothers.
I'm out. And there's no point throwing a grenade, so...
I shall halt their charge. Yes, Commander. The Emperor protects.
Now they've got more armor.
Advancing.
I'm charging them in. Now, I will hopefully have a better, like, stuff. And I'll explain how we'll get better stuff.
Praise the Emperor.
Not far enough to use, so...
My blade is yours. The Emperor protects.
Yep.
On my way.
You're safe there, so... do nothing. As you can see, the Aegis Shield protected us.
Die! Die! Die!
Pain is beneath me.
Okay.
Yes! It bleeds! It bleeds!
Oh, yeah? Okay, we're in a crossfire situation. But thankfully... we'll go here.
Gliding through the wall.
Right. Let's deal with you.
We are the hammer.
Now, each of the weapons have abilities, but...
Blessed are our arms.
Right.
Standing ready.
Now, we can break this a bit by doing this. Now, you may think, how do you break this off? Well, it's quite simple. If you use plasma, grenades, or a special ability, you can stop this Overwatch. Watch and learn.
The Titan.
There we go. Now Overwatch is broken.
The Emperor's vengeance. What is your will?
Choppy choppy.
Face me. Threat eliminated. I am with you.
Alright, get everyone back together. Right, where was the other ones? They were around here somewhere. We'll find them eventually. Now, you see me arrow there? That's how much action points I've used. So, 1, 2, 3 will put me all the way there. So I'm only going to use one at a time.
Seeking the tainted. I am here to serve. What is your will?
The best thing to do, guys, is just use up to 2. And there's a reason for that.
It will be done.
Now, he had to go further because, well, he's a Terminator and he will be in heavier armor. So we're going to stop here. Because it's for 2 reasons. That bloom tracker and them.
At once. I'm here to serve. What is your will?
Ah, hell. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, but they're
Wait.
combat units.
That creature.
Inquisitor, we have seen the dead walk in this way before.
As have I.
Stand ready.
Poxwalkers are evidence of warp corruption. This is no natural plague.
They shall not pass.
Now, these guys are your combaters. The best thing to do with them, lots of Overwatch. Because if they get near, they're going to get killed.
At once. They shall not pass.
Now, watch this.
Good. I will need to examine this corpse and...
I will not tolerate this contamination spreading to my servitors.
Do not obstruct me, Tech Priest. I will follow proper protocols. A satisfactory effort. Now return with my carcass so I can set to work.
We will deliver them to you as soon as containment is properly confirmed and sanctified.
Be swift about it. If this plague has already spread beyond this planet, then we will have far more ground to cover.
Indeed we will. But yes, that was the first mission. Now normally the first mission, guys, it's like a little tutorial to give you like a feel for the game. I mean, look at my ship. It's in a rough state. Came back without a scratch or damage. Now, as you can see here, the armory access area. This is where we would get a choice to get some gear. However, that'll be for a while. So, no one leveled up. So that's it. Repairs in progress. So at the moment, we can't do anything. But we can talk to her. And these are researches we can do, but it will take a while.
We both have work to do. What do you need? This one appears to be some kind of host. An object is nestled within.
Oh, and what would that be?
It is different from what I've seen with these puppets in the past. Do I bore you? The Grey Knights will be needed in this task, and it is your duty to marshal them.
Yes, yes, yes.
I had previously been hunting heretics siphoning power directly from the Hadex anomaly, not far from your previous campaign.
So the astropath found you, huh?
Divining the visions of astropaths is an art in itself.
Now, before we go any further, let's talk about astropath before I start factions. Who are the astropaths? They are sanctioned psychers. Now, psychers in the 40k universe are looked at both loathing, despised, suspicion, and sometimes awe, depending on who it is. Now, divination is a very dangerous art because of 2 reasons. One, if the Chaos Forces see you doing divination, they might screw you over, because the Chaos Forces are, kind of do that. And 2, there's a chance that doing divination could end up losing your life, like the previous astropath who sent the message. You can see these astropaths are not very strong psychically. Well, they're strong, but not like... Someone like a Space Marine Psycho who's more resilient, or the Grey Knights. Now, once an astropath dies, that's it. But also the fact is that using astropaths for communications or protecting ships through the warp or guiding them through the warp is a very taxing and like dangerous affair. It usually ends in death.
Very well. My
Yep.
research beckons.
Right, so Ektar, you want to talk to me, and just yep, they all want to talk to me. So let's have a talk first.
Protocol demands a preliminary salutation. Consider this requirement fulfilled.
Fair enough.
I will not have the edict put at risk, even for an inquisitor.
And that is true, because you see, tech priests are very, very like stubborn when it comes to their charges. They will protect them with their lives, and they're not afraid to bash anyone if they deem like they think that they're going to be a threat.
The ship will remain sterile.
And the Dominus will make sure of that. She will definitely make sure of it. Yes, if you didn't know, this is a she. I know it's a bit weird because of all the Mechanicum stuff on her, but I will cover the Mechanicum later.
The baleful edict has never let any of the brotherhoods that have traveled in her down.
So this ship is very old.
That is the way of the Inquisition.
Mm-hmm.
Affirmative. We have been the primary vessel for the commander for the past 22 years.
So this commander we're talking about, this is the guy we would have like used in the tutorial mission. He was the previous captain before commander before I took over.
He was a leader in the Grey Knights, so he was revered.
Uh-huh.
He did not suffer fools, or those that dared countenance his authority.
Uh-huh. So basically, he will not suffer fools, and he was not he doesn't like Inquisitors. Now, you're going to see that a lot of people don't like the Inquisitors. The only reason why they have the authority to do what they do is because of rights and edicts. But we'll get to that later.
Defiance suggests an emotional need to obstruct or obfuscate.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, I serve the Omnissiah. The Ecclesiarchy's imperial creed carries only a muted echo of the machine god's true will.
Right, so let me explain about this, because it's a minor thing. The Omnissiah and the Ecclesiarch are both pretty much like worship of the Emperor. However, the Emperor of Mankind never wanted religion. He wanted to purge it all and be of science and logic. In my honest opinion, I think the Emperor is a big idiot because he doesn't understand humanity. He's too detached. Because humanity will always look for faith when it's downtrodden. Basically, when they're downtrodden, they got nothing left to lose, they will always turn to faith. Or when you see someone like the Emperor who could do what he did, you would think he is a god. So, yeah, that's kind of like, yeah, a bit of a bonehead decision on your part, Big E. But anyhow, the Ecclesiarchy is basically the church, and the machine god is the Omnissiah for the tech priests. Now, you may wonder, why does tech priests have this? Well, I might as well speak about the tech priests now while we're talking about it now. The tech marines, or tech priests, or the Mechanicum of Mars, were a separate faction to humanity, and the Emperor needed their, shall we say, talents to keep his war machine going in the Great Crusade. So he had to do treaties and concessions, basically allowing them to keep their religion. Now, these guys are a bit of a separate faction in the Imperium, but they are part of the Imperium and also respected. But also, they have to really placate these guys because, you know, tick them off, and you could face a punishment worse than death. Like, oh, I don't know, lobotomized, it into a servitor, or have your weaponry and gear not come to you. They can do that. And there's not much many of the factions could do about it. Even the Space Marines have to behave around these guys, because if they say no, then you either have to accept it or do something about it. So these guys have got a lot of power. And if you wonder how the Emperor managed to, you know, get them on their side, well, he took the test from the Mechanicum. He repaired an ancient war machine that they couldn't repair, and he repaired it, and they thought he was the Omnissiah, thus, you know, siding with them. There's also a darker faction of these guys called the Dark Mechanicum. They are the Chaos equivalent.
Wait
That's
for
all
new input.
for now.
I am repairing the damage as requested. Waiting for new input. The
Yep.
interaction is over.
Yep, so this is ship status. So we're going to plasma reactor sorted. We need the armament chamber sorted. And on this side, we need the armament. So there's a lot of things we got to do. But the first order of business, guys, is the apothecarian. We need that up and running and the barracks. They're the two things we need up and running. And now finally, Ektar.
Do you seek wisdom, Commander? I am no ancient, but might be of some help.
Now, an ancient, guys, is a dreadnought. A warrior who's been around for ages. But we'll get to those guys later.
She already makes demands on a ship badly in need of restitution.
Yes, you've got to heed to their quest.
Even we must respect the authority of the Inquisition when the situation demands it.
Now, the Grey Knights are an interesting case with the Inquisition, which I will get to later.
It is a term that has fallen out of fashion.
Yes. The Chamber Militant, that's who they are, but we'll get to that later. And the Order Malleus is the order she's from. But like I said, we'll talk about them later.
It was a strategic decision.
Ancient customs.
Whatever best helps you, Commander. It seems the Emperor has other plans for me.
Yep, because he's a purifier. Now, purifiers in the Grey Knights Order basically are like high level, like they burn and like destroy things. They're like the higher level rank.
A matter between myself and the Emperor.
By Grandmaster Valdos, my penance to serve the edict, but not to leave it. So basically, he's done something wrong, and he is stuck there.
I hope I can be of some use.
Mm-hmm.
He had a fitting end to his noble life.
Yep.
Why, indeed, it is not my place to say.
Now, the Blood God. Now, that's Khorne, but I will cover the gods as well, what they are like, so we'll get to them eventually.
By all means.
That's it for now.
Are the hammer.
So let's
Remember that.
so advance the time. Wait for this to get repaired. So yeah, so you get an idea that there's a lot to talk about, and I'll talk about that in the next